welcome back to Jedi Jive, everyone. My name is Mike, and today we're going to watch episode 5 of season 7 of the Clone Wars. This one is called Gone with a Trace. The Bad Batch arc is all wrapped up, so this will be the first episode in the Ahsoka Tano walkabout arc. It's been a couple years since we last saw Ahsoka Tano at the end of Rebels, and that was the fulcrum version of Ahsoka that is not this version of Ahsoka that most people were familiar with before Rebels. So it's been probably 8 years now since we've actually seen this version of Ahsoka, teenage Ahsoka, and we were left off at the end of season 5 with Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order, and that's kind of the end of that part of her story in terms of where it left off. So this has been pretty highly anticipated. Like, what happened to Ahsoka after that? Another question that I have is Clone Wars hasn't always necessarily been chronological. I know the last few seasons it was a little bit more chronological, but I know that there's a specific order that you can watch the Clone Wars in, particularly the first 3 seasons where things were a little bit rearranged. So I'm not entirely sure if this walkabout arc is going to specifically take place right after what we just saw with the Bad Batch, or if it's before, or if it's kind of straddling it and kind of will go before and after. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe it won't really matter. But I think in general, this is supposed to be essentially right after what we saw in episode 5, or not that long after. So if I had to predict, I would think that this is actually going to come before what we just saw. But I don't really think that's that important. I think really people just want to see Ahsoka, and we've been waiting a while to see it. So when we left off, she was leaving the Jedi Order. Now we know Order 66 is going to be coming up at some point, so it's probably going to be in Ahsoka's interest to not reveal that she's a Force user, that she's going to probably want to hide the fact that she's a Jedi so that she's not wanted in any way. So I don't know, in terms of the timeline, that's going to affect how things are happening here, but in general, we know we're getting Ahsoka, and that's exciting. So I just want to jump right in and see what's going on. We'll talk about it afterwards. All right. We get some sort of 1313 action too. She's going to go deep into Coruscant. Yeah, this is definitely one of those scenes that they had in the unfinished Clone Wars. Yikes. Teenage drivers.
Oh no.
No. Come on. Ashley Eckstein's probably so happy to be back in her Ahsoka role. Sick move. There's our girl. So yeah, I think we're probably going to be seeing minimal Force usage out of her. That would be my prediction.
That bike is trash. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm Trace. Ahsoka. You happened to crash onto one of the best repair shops on 1313.
Yeah, 1313,
So
nice.
You're a mechanic? I can fix my own bike. I just need some tools. I don't have much in the way of credits.
Down here no one does. Come on.
I like Ahsoka's new outfit though, that's cool.
That's a Nebula-class freighter. Or at least it was.
Good eye.
Hey, why are you helping me?
Shouldn't I? Seemed like the right thing to do.
I'll stay. Thank you.
That's good. I really need the money. Need any help?
Not if you're gonna charge me.
Hey, I don't know where you're from, but down here, everything has a price.
This engine isn't going to run without a new sparker. Got one I can buy?
The only sparkers I got are right here. And I ain't got no more.
I need to get out of here.
Why? You running from something?
Maybe this was a bad idea. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Look, you can stay here as long as you like. If you can pay me.
A little bit of Luke's theme there. Level 1313, surely we'll be running into some bounty hunters, right? Well, she fixed it already? She gave her one of her sparkers.
No sense in keeping you here if you're gonna be miserable.
I appreciate the help. What's it gonna cost?
It's on the house.
You know, Where I come from, it's very different from here.
So, where do you come from anyway?
Used to live in the upper levels of Coruscant.
Up there, where the air is clear, huh?
Yeah, she's not going to reveal anything
You're
about her
probably
Jedi
better off
past.
down here. I'm sure you have your problems up there with the Jedi running around, starting wars, policing everything. Doesn't really matter anyway. They've forgotten all about us. When you're a kid, you hear stories. I guess they're not what I thought they'd be. It's not safe down here. That's why I've got my ship. So I can make my living in the stars.
Ahsoka cosplayers have a new costume to make now.
Cortez! Your sister said she was paying me today. Since she's not here, I guess you're gonna have to pay me instead.
I'd back off if I were you. Stay out of this. Right.
Beat him over the head. Yes. Damn. Punched her right in the face. Dang. Damn, she's taking some licks.
On second thought,
Ahsoka's like, want some help now?
great.
Yeah. Nice. Stone cold. Sick. That's some classic Ahsoka.
Where did you learn to fight like that?
My older brother taught me.
Maybe you can
Come on, Anakin did not
better go
teach her
tell my
that.
sister about
That's
Pinky.
kind of what she was implying. Ahsoka always had moves.
Nope. Rafa, does that belong to you?
Not yet. Oh, Trace.
They're all about the edgy haircuts in this family.
Pintu came by to get paid.
Who is this interesting creature?
My name is Ahsoka.
Lovely name, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
This is my sister.
How'd you end up with this smooth milker?
Moof
She fell from the
Milker.
sky. I mean,
Classic.
really dropped right in on the Mech Bay platform.
Where exactly are you from?
I'm from Topside.
How much is she charging you?
Not enough to pay your debt.
Not that it's any of your business.
You promised you would stay away from Pintu.
I needed money for this place, for repairs, and other things.
It's a space laundromat.
Won't happen again.
Twi'lek.
Here's our next payday.
I've got 3 droids that need to be built.
This may not look like a droid factory, but that's to throw off the authorities.
He said you build droids better than anybody.
Look, just bring them around back.
Yeah, they've really upped the quality of the facial animation in particular.
Just make sure you affix the restraining bolt to that pile of moving parts before you punch the power cycle.
What's your worry?
I've had my fair share of run-ins with droids.
Hmm.
The majority are fine. This is no astromech.
You seem to know a lot about everything.
I still don't understand people.
There are good people and bad people, and some are just crosswired like this binary load lifter.
Wait a minute. I do know this type of droid.
Are you all right?
Trace! The bolt!
I can think of a couple YouTubers that were going to complain just about these girls' haircuts alone.
What the? No. That's not.
That can't be good.
That's my droid! Where is it going?
It's a test run. Nothing to worry about.
This isn't funny, Trace!
Great animation.
You said demolition droid, right?
Now it's just breaking stuff.
Go back to Rafa's.
Where's the droid?
Working on it! Gotta go!
Trace! I trusted you!
Where? Did you see it?
Yeah, it's headed straight for us.
Yeah, too bad she's probably going to refrain from using the Force. This thing gets around.
The off switch. It's on its base plate. Okay, but let me grab it first.
Ahsoka's got it. So far, Ahsoka isn't doing much other than just tagging along.
Come on!
Yikes.
Hey, kids.
It's a close one.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, come on, Ahsoka. Uh-oh. Thank God for the winch. Oh boy. Yep. Okay, so now she's outed herself in front of a lot of people now. Some Luke's theme too.
Trace? See? Nothing to worry about. All under control.
So is that little Twi'lek kid the only one that saw? They didn't make a big deal out of
I
that.
am not going to dismantle those droids.
They could hurt someone.
Not my problem.
You don't know what those droids could be used for. Why is this a discussion? We all know.
That you're new here. I'll do the right thing.
Rafa, just be smart. Come on.
Okay.
Ahsoka.
So they're kind of setting it up so that the Rafa one might be a little bit questionable. Hopefully she'll come around by the end of the arc. That Trace is going to be sort of positively influenced by Ahsoka, and the Rafa one might kind of cause some conflict. Love Cat, yay! I see you, Dave Filoni.
With Rafa?
She's my older sister. She doesn't always get it right, but I know she's trying to make things better for us.
Already had more Twi'leks in this episode than the rest of the season so far.
I charge the Twi'lek double.
So she says Twi'lek. Once again, we hear Twi'lek and Twi'lek. Depends on who says it.
If I didn't get the credits for those droids, they were gonna keep coming after us.
Yeah, so she's not a fan of Ahsoka. She thinks she's just gonna kind of muck up their business.
Better go finish my speeder.
Thanks for saving me out there.
You're welcome.
Now let's get that speeder working. Come on.
Alright, good stuff. So yeah, that was a fun start to that arc. I think I'm going to be honest right off the bat, this is probably like the least eventful, and I'd say maybe even my least favorite of the 5 episodes so far. I love Ahsoka. I love seeing Ahsoka. I mentioned a couple times that the animation is like looking really good, that I can tell that they've upped their game, particularly in the facial animation, the lip sync. It looks a lot better than it used to. Love the look of the 1313, the feel of it all. This is obviously primarily like a setup episode for the arc. They wanted to introduce these two characters, Trace and Rafa, so that we could get a feel for them and kind of introduce how Ahsoka is going to interact with them. Like I said, it seems like they're setting it up so that Trace is going to be positively influenced by Ahsoka and all of the good things that Ahsoka has and her good qualities, and that the Rafa character is probably going to be a little bit of a wild card in there that's going to throw things off a little bit, and that hopefully by the end of the arc they'll come around and the Rafa character will, whatever mistake she makes, she'll correct it. Hopefully we don't have too many casualties either. They're new characters. It's a little bit of a, when you're halfway through the final season and you're introducing new characters, it's a little bit of a, is this necessary? Can't we kind of use characters that we know already? But I mean, at the end of the day, Dave Filoni knows what he's doing. He's got a job to do, and that's telling a story. So, like I said, this is primarily a setup episode, so they're aware of the fact that not much is happening in this episode. It's mostly just to set up these new characters in this new arc. So, in general, fun episode, but not really much happened, so it's not really my favorite episode. Like the Bad Batch arc really felt like there was a lot going on in every episode. So hopefully this is a quality setup that will allow us to move forward in this arc and really flesh out Ahsoka's story. So, like I said in the beginning, before we started, I wasn't entirely sure if they were going to specify when on the timeline this falls, because Clone Wars isn't always chronological, so it's entirely possible that this is taking place before the Bad Batch arc that we just saw. They may not end up specifying it. We may get another complete story in this arc, and it just kind of, by the end, we'll see where Ahsoka's going. But we may not necessarily have a specific time on the timeline. We do know, obviously, that this is after she's left the Jedi Order. So I think when we saw in the trailer, or actually it was when they first announced that Clone Wars was coming back at Celebration a few years ago, the Clone Wars Save trailer, and we saw Anakin and Obi-Wan walking up and being like, "What's the deal, Rex?" And then Ahsoka turns around, she's like, "Haven't seen you in a while, Master," or whatever. That may not actually occur until the beginning of the final arc, so we may not actually get Ahsoka and Anakin interacting with each other for like another 3 or 4 episodes. So it's hard to tell at this point. I like where it's going. I love seeing Ahsoka again. I pointed out I really like her new outfit. She's got a new suit on, a new headband. Her face looks like it's matured a little bit, so this is cool. Like I said, the Ahsoka cosplayers are gonna have a field day with this because it's just all new Ahsoka. Even though this is the familiar Ahsoka in terms of the timeline, she's not really that much older. She's like maybe 6 months older than when she left, or even not at all. But in general, she looks different. It looks good. I love the way the animation looks. I love the way the texturing and all of it looks. They're doing a good job. And like I said, Dave Filoni knows what he's doing. He threw that little Loth cat in there, like we saw Loth cat in The Mandalorian. It's just those little teases that they throw in there, those little Easter eggs they throw in there for people that go deep, that cut deep and really know that stuff. So, yeah, this is great. I mean, Ahsoka's back, and I'm excited to see more. I'm hoping that they don't necessarily drag it down too much with the storyline with these new characters, because people aren't necessarily just going to fall in love with new characters, especially when we don't have very many more episodes to, connect with them. So we already met all these new Bad Batch characters. If they're going to introduce even more new characters, they've got to really play an important part in the overall story. Otherwise, people are going to be like, what's the deal? Why aren't we let's see more Ahsoka. Let's see more Obi-Wan. Let's see more Anakin. Let's see more of the Force. So I had also said that Ahsoka wasn't going to use the Force, that she was going to do everything in her power to not use it, but we ended up getting that Cal Kestis situation where somebody was about to fall to their death, so she kind of had no option but to use it. Although they kind of made it look like that little Twi'lek kid was the only one that noticed her using the Force. We know that Trace didn't see her because she was over the ledge, but it looked like there were 5 or 6 other people standing there that they didn't even make a point to show people being like, oh, a Jedi or anything like that. So I guess she still hasn't been found out because that kid is the only one that sees, but I think moving forward it'll still be the same thing. She's going to try not to use the Force when she doesn't have to, so that she doesn't become a target in any way for anybody who wants to kill Jedi, even though Order 66 hasn't happened yet. So that's another thing we'll be looking for. Hey man, I'm excited. This is great. Can't wait to see more Ahsoka. If you guys are excited and you can't wait to see more Ahsoka, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.